Hello, fellow artists and art lovers. I'm Matt from Matt JL Art and More. Have you ever started a project intending to make something only to have become completely different? I have, plenty of times. In fact, sometimes I find that letting my mind flow without a plan and creating on the fly can lead to some of my favorite art pieces. Today's piece is one of those. Starting out, I had originally envisioned making a clay T-Rex. So I made a wire armature for this as a mechanical wire. This is stiffer than typical craft wire, which has its advantages and disadvantages. On one hand, it makes it more durable, but on the other hand, it also makes it harder to bend to a proper shape and marks up your hands with a black residue. I'm not sure if I'd recommend this over craft wire or not. You'll have to decide for yourself if the extra durability is worth it. With the armature complete, I begin to wrap it in clay. The clay I am using is Crayola air dry clay, as well as some Crayola Model Magic clay. Crayola is one of the cheapest and easiest to obtain clays, which is why I chose this brand. It also doesn't tend to have a strong odor as some other brands, but maybe that's just me. As I went along, I also used water to help spread the clay easier, and occasionally add more wire where it was needed. After that, I let it dry and harden. To be perfectly honest, I kind of forgot about it for a few months until recently. When I finally did pick it back up, I cleaned it up with some sandpaper and then used a carving knife and various other tools to clean up some more. Partway through this process, the feet fell off. While I was initially upset by this ended up being a blessing in disguise, as it allowed for a much more precise carving on the legs and feet. I also decided to get rid of the original sculpted teeth as I didn't like how they looked. The clay carved like butter and proved to be extremely fun to carve. So much fun that I got a little carried away and began to change to something else entirely. Wire even coming out of the mouth at one point and forming a very interesting new shape. With the carving done, I decided to go a little unconventional for the sake of stability of the model and covered the whole thing in masking tape, one of my favorite mediums to use, as it is sticky, can be flat, or rolled into balls to add bulk, and is easily marked on. I hot glued the feet back on and used more tape to secure their connection. At this point, I started to experiment with new things my art piece could become, using clothespins to extend the front limbs, and then using wooden hearts as feet. I glued them in place, then used more masking tape to secure them in place, unite them with the design of the rest of the body. I then cut up a paper straw and glued the pieces to the feet to give it some toes, followed by even more tape. I also used a clothespin to add more length to the tail. Now that all the new limbs are complete, I finally knew what I wanted to turn my model into, and began to make dragon wings out of wire. I used paper straws to glue and tape to give my wing skeleton some thickness, and then glue some fabric from an old thin bed sheet to the back of it, and made sure to press it in around the rods to ensure it had the proper shape. I then drilled some holes and used some wooden rods as horns and wooden beads for eyes. I then glued parts of popsicle sticks I carved to resemble spikes down the back and the tail. Now that I knew the wings would be dry, I cut the wings out and drilled some more holes on the back to put the wings into. Glued them into the holes. I then used more tape to secure this. I bent the wings using the wire, and then poked some holes in the mouth for some new teeth and stuck pieces of matchstick in these holes. A piece of format puzzle piece foam was also used to add a tail tip. With the sculpt done, I once again wanted to secure the durability of the mold, as well as add some unifying color to make it easier to paint. So I mixed together some Mod Podge, white glue, water, and paint in a jar to serve as the sealer and the undercoat, and slathered all over the dragon, getting them absolutely coated in the mixture, and adjusting said mixture as I went along. After the sealer dried, it was time for the first layer of paint, starting with green for most of the body. I then tried to paint the other colors, but I stupidly decided to do this before the green dried, so it mixed all the other colors. I decided to go with it and at least mark the areas where it will be different colors. After this layer was dried, I added a second layer of paint, this time ensuring the colors did not mix as much. I then used markers to draw scales all over the body, and smudged lighter paint over some areas as highlights. When this was done, it was time for a black wash, covering it in essentially black water and then wiping it away. The black will seep into the cracks present and help bring out details as well as add some sense of dimension and age to the model. With this dry, I then covered the model in Mod Podge. This sealer, it goes on white and dries clear, so it makes it easy to paint and seals in the color good. I also made a flame effect for the dragon out of wire and tape. Here is the final dragon model. The project is nothing like I originally envisioned, but I am still very happy with how it turned out. And here's another dragon model I made a few years ago with it. I think it's clear my sculpting skills have improved since then. And now for our skit I made featuring my dragon models. Grandpa, come on, let's play.
I can't run like I used to, boy. I'm too old. You go ahead.
Oh, okay. Let's be fire!
Okay, but make it quick. As the humans say, I go find a porcelain throne to sit on.
Sure. Now watch me. That was fun. How much fire can you breathe, Grandpa?
Well, I don't know. I'll give it a whirl.
Gosh darn it, now I'm stuck. Hold on, Grandpa, I'm coming.
Thanks. My back is killing me. Ow. Think I heard all my bones clack and go like those tin suits the humans wear. Ugh.
Come on. Race to the stone castle.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen. Ugh. Young dragons. Ugh.
Aww. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Let me know in the comments if you ever had any projects that became something different than you originally intended, or are still happy with the final result, like I was for my dragon. I am very curious to hear your stories. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!